I always have been interested by YouTube. Just watching those guys build communities, having maybe not some fame, but I don't know, there has always been something that just was intriguing to me. And so just as a hobby, I started making videos here and there, but never took it seriously. Until a few months ago, where I decided, you know what, if I want to do it, it's something that I want to do, I might as well just really go after it, really make it happen and just try my best to succeed. Because I had some results here and there, some videos that got views, but I wasn't really giving my all. And so I decided I'd go in. And this was led me to this video today, because I want to help you start on YouTube. As I'm doing so, as I'm starting. And so what I do is I actually do a video series where each time I explain what I'm doing, how I am improving my videos, one video at a time. And so what you're seeing is just one of those videos. And what we are going to do is review what we have done in the past and then move on to what I did in this video that make it a little bit different, a little bit better than the last time. But if you already know this video series, if you are following along, you know the drill, you can jump ahead and using the timestamp to directly go to the section that talks about this video. So what we are going to do, for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm going to review a little bit what we have done so far, then we'll talk about the main topic of this video. So far what we have did is primarily each time reviewing a lot of stuff that we have already done, but what I'm just going to give you here is just the overview. So if you want to jump on one specific video, you can just do that. But what I highly suggest is I'm making the video at the beginning as bad as I possibly can and then try to do something, just improve a little bit. And the goal is mainly to focus on not editing more. The goal is to have a process that as a beginner you can follow that doesn't rely on heavy editing skill, mainly because we don't want to spend more time editing that we are producing. We want to build the foundation of what we are as a creator to actually become better, and because then once the challenge works, you will be able to delegate the skill about editing. So that's not the raw skill that you need as a content creator. The raw skill that you need as a content creator is about the production, talking to the camera, lighting, sound, and mainly that was the key point. First we just start with thumbnail and the title, because when you're beginning, of course your video is not going to be that good. But the only thing that you can control is actually making people want to click on your videos. Because at the beginning, you won't get that much view anyway. So just focus on spending more time on the thumbnail and title rather than on the actual production of the video. The video, just do it raw. You just launch the camera as I'm doing right here and just go and remember things on top of your head, but spend a little bit of time thinking, understanding what a good thumbnail title should be. After having this raw format, this is about structuring with bullet point. Take a piece of paper, have a few bullet points just to have a structure in mind of what you are doing. So mainly here you can see that each of those elements bring more views, but also more subscribers. And there is really a difference because some are just going to improve the quality of the video in general, but not making a big leap in terms of views. While on the other hand, you have the part that bring significant more views, and mainly that was the visual, I believe, that's bringing a lot more views. And the subject we are going to talk about today, I think also it's very important because as you're going to see in a minute, the only thing I want to point out, because in the last video what we did was the background music and the microphone. Here you can see I have my microphone that I was using last time. What happened is I found, because this whole process is about spending as little time as possible editing videos while providing as much value and quality of videos. And what I found is having your microphone attached right here, you hear your breath, you hear mouth sound, and all of this you need to remove during the editing process. And so that's something that takes time. Until the microphone, I was basic. It was the video editing was less than 1 hour. Just with the mouse stuff, with the microphone that was too close to my mouth, it took me more than 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours to edit the video. So it was way too long. And so that's really what I'm trying to do here, is moving one step at a time, finding, okay, this add quality but doesn't add more time of editing, and this add more time of editing but not necessarily that much time of quality. And that's why I put my microphone right here, just beside the camera, so it's far enough from me so we don't hear all of my mouth sound, but you can the audio is still far better than just the camera alone, and so we still improve the quality overall. So that was a little thing that I think was important to mention. And so then we have the background music, but that I think that's pretty straightforward. Go watch the last video about that, because I went over the different websites and solutions that you have when it comes to audio, so to background music. So you can go over with that. So let's go about the topic of today's video. What I wanted to do, and this is what I tried, but I went on top of my head. I think in the next video I'm going to try to write it down a little bit better to really figure out a way to convey this the best I can. But this is about how you start your video. Starting in a way that is compelling, that makes the viewer want to watch and follow through with the video, not just click but watch through. Because if you remember in the last video we talked about the algorithm, and the main thing about the algorithm is you want to have a lot of impressions, and the way to get more impressions than the one you get just after publishing is having watch time. And so if people click and watch your entire video, this creates more watch time. This tells the algorithm that this video is interesting, and so the algorithm gives more impression. And the importance is having a lot of impression, because without impression, it doesn't matter how well you convert. You need impression. The first thing was title and thumbnail. We did some basic stuff, but then once they click on your video, this is about people generally talk about hooking them into the video. But here, this is not a hook yet. A hook, we'll see that a little bit later. Because the hook is only the first 5 to 10 seconds, where really you grab, you hook people's attention. Here it's about almost the first 1 to 2 minutes. How do you ease people into watching your video? Makes them intrigued. And there is a lot of stuff that you can do in order to do that. And so that's what we are going to talk about today. And that's what I did in the video, because you have 3 main ways to go about it. And I tried to do the third way, which is actually the best way. Depending on the situation, you cannot use it all the time. So I believe that in this video, I could use it, so I did. Depending on the situation, that's why there is a first one and the second one that we are going to talk about as well, that might be more handy in different situations, because the third one, you might not be comfortable every time to do it. So first one is opening the video with a question, a statement that matters to the audience. You need to understand your audience so well that you understand what problems they are facing and what solutions they are looking for. By having this understanding, you can turn those problems or solutions into questions that your audience crave to understand, to have answer to. And that's why it's important to have what is called an avatar. An avatar is just the representation of who you are talking to. But that we will see another time, because it's a little bit more complex and there is a lot of stuff that go behind it. But every time you hear avatar, this is about your audience. Who are you talking to? And this starts here. You can start your video with a simple question, a statement that really triggers something in the mind of your audience. The second option is a factoid. Starting with a fact that's related to what's matter to your audience, to what is intriguing to your audience. But mainly the main thing is it should shock. Put them in a situation where they pause and say, I never even thought about this before. Is it real? Really? I don't know. Maybe. Huh? And during that time, you continue speaking, and so you can, they engage, they start thinking about it. Same thing as before, this is about your avatar. What fact can make them challenge their own belief, challenge what they think is true, or rethink the way they think? Most of the time, for instance, here with YouTube, you have some predefined ID. For instance, one of the main ideas that I try to challenge with those videos is to make good videos, you need to have high editing skill and you need to spend a lot of time editing because this is what makes a good video. And I try to challenge that. And a basic statement, a basic fact will be to start a video like, you don't need high editing skill to make good videos. Simple fact, but this is targeted directly to you as a content creator that getting started, that don't have a lot of editing skill, that may think, how can I make a good video if I don't have good editing skill? And this fact, the fact that you don't need good editing skill to get started, to make good videos, is a fact that will intrigue you, that will talk to you, and that will make it interesting for you to watch and continue watch until the end. And that can be also something that is just controversial, make people just interact with the video. You want to challenge them on something they firmly believe it's true. And so maybe you are going to get some dislike or comments, but that's good. That means people are engaging with your content. So that's another way. But all of these elements that I'm talking right here are something that you can also put in the middle of your video just to re-engage the viewer. Because okay, they have engaged in the beginning, but if you don't keep them engaged throughout the video, then they will drop off. And one good way to do that is just to keep putting on facts, question, engaging them in various different ways. And finally, the third one, which is actually the most important one, the one that you want to master at all costs. Because this is the one that is going to allow you to connect with your audience. All those other stuff I've just shown you before were about catching the viewer attention. Catching the viewer attention is good to make them watch, but and to make them care a little bit, but not enough to make them care about you and to make them connect with you on a deeper level. And also, that's not enough to make them understand that you care about the subject. This is something that's really important to you and that you want to share with people to help them and achieve their goal, because you have struggled through this thing but you went through it and now you are sharing your result. What I'm talking about is having a story. This is about telling a story from your own life that will resonate with your audience problem and what they are facing at the moment. Telling a story that show people that the subject matter is important to you. And that way you can connect with people, you can make people understand and care about the subject more because they will understand that you care about it. And the main reason is the need to trust. In some way, we listen to people we trust. And if you cannot convey this idea that they can trust you, even though they don't really know you, but stories are here to show relatability, and relatability is a way to trust people, because if you are able to open up, to share personal information, personal stories, then people are much more inclined to listen to you, because this is not just you telling people what to do. You're explaining to them that you went through the same thing as them. And this was difficult, but you went after it and you succeed. And that's why they can too. Motivate them. And stories are really a wonderful way to go about it, but that's really something difficult to say and something that you need to practice. And I will keep practicing and I will keep improving this first story because what I did is I knew I had a story to make to start this video, and I just sit here questioning myself, okay, what story do I want to tell? What am I gonna say? And because I like to do things improvise things as they go. I like to do it. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it, see what's come out. Then in the next video, I'm going to think back on what I say and maybe find a better way to share it. And that's also something I want you to understand. Sharing stories is a skill. This is a very important skill as a content creator, as a personal brand that you are trying to build, and this will take time. Because the bottom line is growing an audience is mainly about connecting with people. And so you do that through stories. So where I found it? Simple, this is an archive of YouTube, a video that have 19 million views that called How to Start a Speech, which probably is making a far better job than I am doing right now to convey the same information I did, but probably going in less detail, but is well practiced, well speak. So instead of having an 8-minute video, you just watch a 20-minute video. Thank you. But yeah, this video is very interesting. There is just, I took a lot of stuff from that video that I put on this one, but I also added a lot of information based on my own experience and the knowledge I've gathered through researching and trying to understand YouTube in general. So yeah. So finally, what's coming next? Because this is a video series and we have a next video coming soon. I believe that I'm starting rambling way too much. And the video starts getting way too long. So what we are going to do next time, because part of keeping the editing very short is actually having a video that is short. So having a recording that currently sits at 21 minutes, probably with the editing is going to be less, but we are somewhere around 20 minutes, which is way too long. A YouTube video should be about 5 to 10 minutes. So we are going to set some ground rules. From now, I'm going to set rule, specific target of what I need to each part of the video, the size, and yes, try to come up with some rule and guidelines to be efficient in the process of making a video, not rambling too much, not getting completely crazy and going on too much tangent. Stay focused. And we are going to do that, take a little bit of step back, let you digest the information to this video, because I think there is a lot of information that are very important and you need to start practicing that skill of telling stories, being comfortable sharing personal information with your audience. And I think that's very important. That's going to make a very big difference in how you grow, because at the end of the day, you may be talking about a subject currently, but people interest come and goes. They might be interested in the subject you are talking now, but they might not be in the future. And the only way you can keep them around is if they are interested in you, who you are as a person, and what is your journey. And you do that with stories. So thank you for watching, and let's go to the next videos.